Hello everyone, hope all of you are safe and healthy. Welcome to IASbaba's Rapid Revision Series for Prelims 2021. This is session 53 and day 73. And the topic we have is Indian geography, basically the physiological features. Friends, with the intent of building the builders of nation, IASbaba is coming up with a foundation course for 2022. And this is, unlike the traditional classroom coaching, it consists of mentorship from the subjective experts, and we have guidance from the toppers, and then we have an integrated program that is inclusive of prelims, mains and interview preparation, and you are also provided with the value added notes so that you don't have the burden to search for the study materials. And then you have prelims and mains test series as well, and this program is going to start on the 16th of August, and students can make the best use of it. Now coming to the hot topics we are going to discuss, that is the Himalayas, then RaRe plains, and then the physiography of Galwan Valley, which was in news in the last year, then Sriharikota and Tumba, then Aravalli Ranges, then Tropic of Cancer and the Indian Standard Time and the places near them, then passes in the Western Ghats, the important passes we discussed, then Lunar Crater Lake, then Arabian Sea, which has become the hotbed of cyclones in the 2 to 3 years in the past, then Satpura Range. Now coming to the first one, Himalayas. Friends, why was it in news? Because the reoccurrence of landslides in Himachal Pradesh have left the environmentalists concerned, and the state has recorded an increase of 116% in the landslides in the last 2 years. So in this context, the Himalayan range becomes important. Coming to the physiography, friends, the Himalayas stretches from west to east for about 2400 kilometers. So this is of 2400 kilometer in length. Then the width varies from 400 kilometer in Kashmir to 150 kilometer in Arunachal Pradesh. So friends, its width is 400 kilometer near Kashmir, but only 150 kilometer in the eastern part, or in other words, it goes on thinning from west to east as far as the width is concerned. Then altitude variations are greater in the eastern half than the western half. Friends, though the altitude in the eastern part is higher, the variations are higher in the eastern part. So the altitude is higher in the western part, but the variations in the altitude, it is higher in the eastern parts. So I hope you get the difference. Then Karakoram, Ladakh and Zaskar ranges, they lie north to the Himalayas. So in the north of Himalayan range, the Karakoram, Ladakh and Zaskar range they lie. So here is the Karakoram, Ladakh and Zaskar, and here is the Himalayas. Then Shyok river flows between Karakoram and Ladakh range. So between Karakoram and Ladakh, so in this region the Shyok river flows. Then Indus river flows between Ladakh and Zaskar. So in the next range, that is between Ladakh and Zaskar, the Indus river flows. Friends, we also know that Shyok river is also the tributary of Indus river. Then Himalaya comprises of 3 parallel ranges, that is the greater or inner Himalayas are also called Himadri. So here the longest line, this is the Himadri or the inner Himalayas. Friends, we know that the greatest peaks like Mount Everest, K2, all these are present in this inner Himalayas, and this range is of the greatest altitude. Then Himachal or the middle Himalayas, or it is also called as Dhauladhar range. So this lie to the south of inner Himalayas. So this disjointed line, this is the middle Himalayas. Then the Shivaliks. So Shivaliks lie to the southernmost part of these ranges, and this line is the Shivaliks. So these are the lowest ranges in the 3 Himalayan ranges. Then there are number of valleys that lie between these ranges. So these ranges, they are cut in the middle by some of the valleys. Friends, we know that the Dehradun, the Kota Dun, these are some of the valleys which cut the Himalayas. Now come to more facts. Friends, the longitudinal division, as per the longitude, the Himalayas are divided into various parts, that is the Punjab Himalayas. This lies between Indus and Satluj river. Friends, we know that here between the Indus and Satluj river, the Punjab and Haryana will lie. So here between these 2 rivers, the Punjab Himalayas will lie. Then the Kumaon Himalayas. Friends, no prize for guessing. This is the region in Kunlu and Kumaon range of Uttarakhand, that is between Satluj and Kali river. Then Nepal Himalayas, starting from Kali river to Teesta. Friends, we know that Kali river flows here and the Teesta river flows here. So starting from Uttarakhand to till Sikkim, so this Nepal Himalayas will lie, or this Nepal Himalayas, they lie in the Nepalian region. Then Assam Himalayas, that is from the Teesta river to the Dihang river. So here near Namche Barwa Dihang river flows. So this Assam Himalayas, it lies between Teesta and Dihang river. Then beyond Dihang Gorge in the east, the Himalayan bends southwards, known as Purvachal. So here after Namcha Barwa, the Purvachal starts, and that is from north to south rather than from west to east. Then it is made up of sandstone or sedimentary rocks. Yes friends, we know that Himalayas are the young-fold mountains and they are made up of soft stones and sedimentary rocks, and that is why the landslides are more prominent in Himalayas. Then Purvachal comprises of Patkai Hills, Naga Hills, Manipur Hills and Mizo Hills, that is from north to south. So friends, here we can see the Purvachal, that is starting from the Patkai range, and then the Naga Hills, and then the Manipur and the Mizo Hills. And we also have the Mikir Hills and the Bareil Range here, and in the Meghalaya we can see the Kazi, Garo and Jaintia Hills. And also friends, the tail end of this east-west Himalayas, it consists of Dafla Hills, Miri Hills, Abor Hills and Mishmi Hills. So here friends, we can get questions on arranging these hills from north to south, from west to east, etc. So we will be careful and we will remember here itself. So this is all about the Himalayan range. Then come to next one, the Terai. Friends, Terai was in news because in this summer a worse drought it haunted the Terai region, and almost all the forest regions of Uttarakhand, they were victims of forest fires. So in that context, the whole Ganga plain will become important. Friends, we know that Ganga plain is divided into 4 parts, that is the Babar, Terai, Bangar and Kadar. We will discuss what are they. First one, the Babar. Friends, Babar lies along the foothills of Shivaliks from Indus to Teesta. So starting from Indus or Jammu Kashmir to Teesta near Sikkim and West Bengal, this Babar lies and it is to the south of Shivaliks or to the next of Shivaliks. Then it is 8 to 16 kilometers wide. So friends, by this we know that this is very narrow range comparing to Himalayas, which are 400 to 150 kilometers in wide. Then it comprises of pebble-studded rocks in the shape of porous beds. So these are pebbly in nature and hence they are porous. Then due to porosity of rocks, the streams disappear and flow underground. Yes friends, when there are pebbles, automatically the water percolates into them. That is why most of the rivers, they flow underground in this region. And this region is not much suitable for agriculture because they are pebbly or rocky in nature. Then coming to Terai, it lies to the south of Babar and runs parallel to it, and it is 20 to 30 kilometers wide. So this is wider than the Babar region. Then it is composed of comparatively finer alluvium and is covered by forests. So as it is consisted of alluvium soils, then plantation is a must here. Then the underground streams of Babar, they re-emerge on the surface, hence it gives birth to marshy area. So as it consists of finer alluvium, the rivers will re-emerge. As a result of that, the swamp areas will be developed. Then most parts of Terai are reclaimed for agriculture. So agriculture begins from the Terai plains in the Ganga plains. So if there is a question asked in prelims, we will remember the Terai plain from where the agriculture begins in the Ganga plains. Then coming to Bangar. Friends, Bangar is the largest part of northern plain. Friends, we know that Bangar, it lies in both the sides of river Ganga. So that is why it becomes the largest belt in the Ganga plain, and it is made up of alluvium. Yes, it is made up of alluvial soil. Then the soil in this region is not renewed frequently and it is old alluvial soil. So this region, it lies to the farthest part of river valley. So that is why it is not replenished, and that is why it is not fertile, and it is dry as it is not flooded with water frequently, and it contains calcareous deposits and locally known as kankars. So this Bangar, it has the characteristic of kankars. So Bangar is associated with kankar. We will remember here itself. Then Kadar, it is not the largest part of northern plains because it is a very narrow belt that is situated very closer to the rivers. And then it is made up of new alluvium and fine granules. Because it is very nearer to the river, only fine particles are deposited in this part. Then the soil is frequently renewed due to frequent flooding. Yes, we know that. Then it does not contain the calcareous deposits of calcium. As the soils are always wet, the kankars are not formed here and suitable for extensive cultivation. Yes, as this is very fertile and replenished, these are suitable for agriculture. So this is all about the Ganga plains and the Terai region. Come to next, the physiography of Galwan Valley. Friends, Galwan Valley was in news because our Indian and Chinese soldiers, they fought in this region in the last year. So that is why the physiological and political map of this Galwan Valley, it becomes important. Now coming to the political map, friends, here we can see 2 to 3 boundary lines. So this white one, this was provided by the British as the boundary line between India and China. But however, India claims that this green line is the boundary line between India and China. So this was claimed in the year 1963 by India. But however, in the September of 1962, Chinese soldiers, they came till here, that is they crossed the Karakoram range and they entered and they came till the Pangong lake. So this was the line where the Chinese soldiers were present in the September of 1962. but in the October they came still deeper. They crossed this Galwan Valley. So here we can see Galwan Valley, and they came to the further westward of the Pongongso Lake, and they also touched Chushul and Spangur. So this was the position of Chinese in the November 1962. So these are the political boundaries, and here is the Galwan Valley. Friends, a brief account on physiological feature will go as follows. Friends, here lies the Karakoram Range. We know that, and then to the eastern end of Karakoram Range we have the Karakoram Pass, and very nearer to Karakoram Pass we have Daulat Beg Oldie, and then as usual Galwan Valley is there, and this Galwan Valley, it lies to the north of Ladakh and Ladakh Range, and it also lies to the north of this Pongongso Lake. And then here we have the Konka Pass, which is also lying to the south of Galwan Valley, and Chushul and Spangur we have already discussed, and to the eastern end of the Karakoram Range we have Lanakla Pass, and then here we have the Aksai Chin Range to the northeast of Karakoram Range, and then we have Amlagot Lake, which lies to the most eastern part of the region claimed by India. So this is the Amlagot Lake, and here we have the Karakash, a place to the northwest of Aksai Chin. So this is a brief of geography. Friends, here we have the line of actual control. So here we can see the line of actual control, and here we have the Indian Army base, and we have the Chinese Army base also here. And then the Galwan River flows here. We can see the Galwan River here, and it joins the Shyok River at this point. So this is the point of confluence between Galwan River and the Shyok River. And then we have the border roads, that is the DSDBO road is situated here, and the Chinese road is situated here. So this is how the borders are being maintained right now. Then coming to more facts regarding the Galwan River. The Galwan River flows from the disputed Aksai Chin region administered by China to Ladakh region of India. So it flows from Aksai Chin to Ladakh. So we will remember that. And this river originates in a place called Zamzungling, and it is very nearer to a caravan campsite. Friends, you know that caravans are the nomads, are nearer to their campsite. There is a place called Zamzungling, and that lies in the eastern side of Karakoram Range. So to the east of Karakoram Range, this river originates in a place called Zamzungling and flows west to join Shyok. Yes, we know this point. Then the point of confluence is 1 or 2 kilometers south of Daulat Beg Oldie. We have discussed in the last slide. Then Shyok River itself is a tributary of Indus River, making Galwan a part of Indus River system. So here we can see Galwan Valley, it is joining the Shyok River, and also we can see how it crosses the Indo-Chinese border that is claimed by China. So this is a brief account of Galwan Valley. Then come to next, Sriharikota and Tumba. Friends, these will be always in use whenever a satellite is launched by India. So in that context, we study them. Coming to Sriharikota, it is a barrier island off the Bay of Bengal coast located in Nellore district in Andhra Pradesh in India. So in the Nellore district of Andhra Pradesh, this Sriharikota is located, and it is very nearer to Andhra Pradesh and Chennai border. And this is a barrier island. Friends, here itself we revise what are those spits, bars, then barriers and lagoons. Then it houses the Satish Dhawan Space Center, one of the 2 satellite launch centers in India. So this Satish Dhawan Space Center is located in Sriharikota. Then the other being the Tumba Equatorial Rocket Launch Station in Thiruvananthapuram. So only 2 rocket launching stations are present. One is in Sriharikota and the other is in Thiruvananthapuram. So here we can see the detailed geography of this Sriharikota. So here it is the barrier island which acts as a barrier, and here we will be having the Pulicat Lake, the famous lake, and then we have Venadu Island and Irukkulam Island here, and we have Kadapatra and Mulapadava Islands. So these islands also we remember, and we move on to the next, the Tumba. Friends, the Tumba Equatorial Rocket Launching Station, or the TERLS, is an Indian spaceport established on the 21st November 1963. So this is a spaceport, or in other words, this is the port from where the space vehicles they take off. So this is one of the southernmost tips of India, and it is located here. And then coming to the detailed geography of this Tumba, so it is located to the south of Kollam district and to the north of Anantapuram. And then we have a launch pad here, and then we have the Tumba station, and we have an airport. And here very near to it there is an Akulam lake. So this is the geography and physiography of Sriharikota and Tumba. Then it is operated by ISRO, and it is located in Tumba and Thiruvananthapuram. So Thiruvananthapuram, or the Trivandrum district, will be remembered. Then it is nearer to the southern tip of mainland India and very close to Earth's magnetic equator. Friends, we know that the geographic equator of Earth is at 0 degree, but magnetic equator will be situated in the northern hemisphere, because in the northern hemisphere we have so much of continental features. So that is why the magnetic equator shifts towards the north, and hence this Tumba, it lies nearer to the Earth's magnetic equator. So this is all about Sriharikota and Tumba. Then come to next, Aravallis. Friends, Aravallis were in use because some of the ancient caves were discovered there, and we have covered those caves while discussing the ancient history. So in that context, the geography of Aravallis will also become important. Now, Aravallis, they are one of the oldest fold mountains of the world. Yes, they are fold mountains, and they are old, not the young ones like Himalayas. Then, now they form residual mountains with an elevation of 300 to 900 meters. So these are lower in altitude compared to the Himalayas and much lower. Then they stretch for a distance of 800 km from Himatnagar in Gujarat to Delhi. So from Gujarat to Delhi, this range is situated. From Himatnagar to Delhi, we will remember the two places. Then Aravalli range is very rich in natural resources, and they give rise to numerous peninsula rivers like Banas, Luni, Saki and Sabarmati. Friends, this Banas, Luni, Saki and Sabarmati, they flow towards Arabian Sea in the Gujarat Rajasthan region, and whenever you get the time, you locate this in the map. This is an assignment. Then Guru Shikhar is the highest point in the range, which is located in Mount Abu. Friends, we know that Mount Abu, it is located in the borders of Gujarat and Rajasthan, and Guru Shikhar is the highest point peak in that range. Then Aravallis date back to millions of years, when the pre-Indian subcontinent, it collided with the mainland of Eurasian plate. So just like Himalayas, even Aravallis are the results of the collision between the Eurasian plate and the Indian plate, but however, as they are old, they are being corroded, and hence they are old fold mountains. Then come to more facts about Aravallis. Friends, these are barriers between the fertile plains in the east and the sandy desert in the west. So these Aravallis, they act as a barrier for desert in this part and fertile land in this part, and it stops the desert from encroaching into the fertile plain. Then Aravallis range check the spread of Thar desert towards the Indo-Gangetic plains, serving as a catchment of rivers and plains. So friends, now it is having two significance, that is, it is a barrier for first, and then it is a catchment area for several rivers. So likewise, it stops Thar desert from extending towards the Ganga plain. Then Aravallis function as a groundwater recharge zone for the regions around. As these are the water catchment areas, they are the sources for groundwater. Then during monsoon, it acts as barriers to monsoon clouds. Hence, these clouds move eastwards towards Shimla and Nainital, thus helping precipitation in the northern Indian plains. Yes friends, the Arabian branch of monsoon, when it comes to the Mumbai, it strikes to Aravallis and it moves towards northward, and hence it bears rain to the Nainital and other regions of Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. Then during winter, it protects the fertile alluvial river valleys from the cold westerly winds from Central Asia. So as it acts as a barrier to the cold westerly winds, thus it protects the river valleys and river water from this freezing cold. So these are the advantages of Aravallis. Then come to next one, the topic of cancer and the Indian Standard Time. First one, the topic of cancer. Friends, these are the map works, and they will always be important for prelims, and UPSC has more often asked the questions on the basis of this. So that is why we have a map work here. Coming to the first one, the important cities near the latitude, that is near the topic of cancer. Friends, this is the topic of cancer, and it passes from Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, then Chhattisgarh, then West Bengal and Mizoram and Tripura. And then some of the cities are, the Ahmedabad is lying closest to it, then Indore, and then Kolkata, Nagpur. These are the famous cities, but there are more cities which are lying nearer to them. That is Gandhinagar of Gujarat. It lies at 23.10 degree north, a very close point. Then Jaipur of Rajasthan, it lies in the 26 degree, bit farther. Then Bhopal, 23.16 degree north. Then Raipur, 21.16 degree. Ranchi, 23.11. Then Kolkata, 22.34. Agartala, 23.51. Then Aizawl, 23.36. Friends, here you have an assignment. You go to the map work and locate all these places and revise them again and again. Now, coming to more facts regarding the topic of cancer. The tropic of cancer passes through 8 states in India, and it passes through Jasdan in Gujarat. Then in Rajasthan, it passes through Kalinjar, and in Madhya Pradesh, it passes through Shajapur, and in Chhattisgarh, in Sonhat, and Jharkhand, the Lohardaga. Then West Bengal, the Krishna Nagar, and Tripura, Udaipur, and Mizoram, Champai. So these are the cities which actually lie on the tropic of cancer, not nearer to them. So you will have to find on the map where are these cities located as well. Then Mahi River is the only river in India that cuts the Tropic of Cancer twice. So this Mahi River, it flows like this. So that is why it cuts the Tropic of Cancer twice. That is here as well as here. Then come to more facts. Udaipur in Tripura is the city nearest to the Tropic of Cancer. So this is the city which is very nearest to Tropic of Cancer, and this is worth remembering for prelims. Most important one. Then Champai Falls on the Indo-Myanmar border and also on the Tropic of Cancer. So this Champai in Mizoram, it is having two features, that is, it is situated on the Indo-Mizoram border and also on the Tropic of Cancer. So here lies Champai. So these are some of the facts regarding the Tropic of Cancer and India. Then coming to Indian Standard Time. Friends, you have a map work, you will have to go through Atlas and find where are these cities located. So these are located very nearer to the 82.5 degree east or the Indian Standard Time. That is the Ampani in Odisha. It is at 82.40 east. Then Bansi of Uttar Pradesh. It is 82.56, very closer. Then Basti, Uttar Pradesh, 82.46, bit farther. Then Badohi, Uttar Pradesh, 82.38. Then Chunar of Uttar Pradesh, 82.56. Jaunpur of UP, 82.44. Then Jaipur, Odisha, 82.38. And then Junagadh, Odisha, 82.59. Lorna, Chhattisgarh, 82.42. Mirzapur, Uttar Pradesh, 82.37. Then Nabar Nagpur, Odisha, 82.37 once again. So these two are worth remembering. They fall in vertical lines. Then Narsipattanam of Andhra Pradesh, 82.39. Then Pulijar of Chhattisgarh, 82.54. Friends, the South Indian states, they do not have any cities because in South India, this flows on the ocean and not on the landmass. So these are some of the cities and you have to do the map work. So this is an assignment. Then come to next, the passes in Western Ghats. Friends, Western Ghats has always been in use because of the Gadgil committee and Kasturi Rangan committee. So that is why it is worth to remember the passes that are present there. So we can get an ascending or descending orders of passes that are located. So this Tal Ghat Pass or the Kasara Ghat Pass, it connects Mumbai to Nashik. So here from Mumbai to Nashik, this Kasara Ghat Pass is located, and this Tal Ghat is a famous mountain pass in the Sahyadri range of Western Ghats. Friends, we know that the Maharashtrian region of Western Ghats is called as Sahyadri range. Then coming to Borghat Pass, this connects Mumbai to Pune via Khopali. Friends, here we can locate the Borghat Pass and it connects Mumbai to Pune. Then Ambaghat Pass, it connects Ratnagiri to Kolhapur. So from Ratnagiri to Kolhapur, if we trace, we get this Ambaghat, and Ambaghat is not present in this map. Then Malshej Ghat Pass. This Malshej Ghat can be reached while traveling from Kalyan to Ahmednagar. From Ahmednagar to Kalyan, when we go, we get this. And then Nane Ghat Pass, it connects Pune district with Junar district. So once again in Maharashtra, then Tamhini Ghat, it collects talukas of Mulshi and Tamhini in Pune. So this is located within Pune, and if you locate Pune, we will get Tamhini Ghat. Then Kumbarli Ghat Pass. This Kumbarli Ghat provides connectivity between Konkan and Desh regions of Maharashtra, and it provides passage between Ratnagiri and Satara districts. And friends, with the help of these districts and places, you will have to locate these passes in the Google map itself, and ready-made maps are not available, so that is why you have to do the necessary hard work. Else I would have brought in all those maps and showed to you. Then come to more passes. The Palakkad Gap, it connects the Coimbatore of Tamil Nadu to Palakkad of Kerala. So here the Palghat, are also called as Palakkad, is situated in Kerala Tamil Nadu border, and it is also a low altitude mountain pass located in Kerala. Then Palakkad is surrounded by Nilgiri Hills and Annamalai Hills from north and south respectively. So in the north, the Nilgiri Hills are present here, and in the south, Annamalai Hills are present. Then the southern part of Western Ghats virtually separates entire Kerala from Tamil Nadu except the passage of Palakkad Gap. So here the Western Ghats flows between Tamil Nadu and Kerala, but this Palakkad Gap, it provides a passage for the people to move from Tamil Nadu to Kerala and vice versa. Then Chorla Ghat Pass, it lies at the trisection of borders of Maharashtra, Karnataka and Goa. So here somewhere between Maharashtra, Karnataka and Goa border, this Chorla Ghat Pass is located. Then Amboli Ghat, it connects the Savantwadi of Maharashtra to Belgaum of Karnataka. So from Maharashtra to Karnataka, this is the pass, that is the Amboli Ghat. So this Amboli Ghat, Chorla Ghat and Palakkad, these can be remembered very well. But however, this Malshej Ghat, Nane Ghat, then Kumbarli Ghat, all these have to be searched in the map and then they have to be found out. And friends, not only these, there are other ghats as well, and as much as you remember, the best would be your preparation. Then come to next one, the Lunar Crater Lake. Friends, why was it in news? Because recently Nagpur bench of Bombay High Court, it directed the Maharashtra government to establish the Lunar Crater Lake Development Authority, or the LCLDA, for the conservation of Lunar Crater Lake. So, a development authority was suggested by Bombay High Court. Now, about the crater lake. Friends, it is in Bulhana district of Maharashtra and is a 50,000-year-old crater lake. So, it is 50,000-year-old, that is somewhere in the Paleolithic era. Then, the water of the lake is both saline and alkaline in nature, which makes it one of its kind in the world. So, this is one of the kind wherein both saline and alkaline waters are present. Friends, basically the surrounding water are saline in nature because of soil, and in the middle it is alkaline because, friends, this is a basaltic crater, that is the underground rock is basalt, and this basalt rock, it gives up some of the alkaline elements which are dissolved in this water. So, inner part is alkaline, the outer part is saline. Then this wetland on Deccan Plateau is endorheic or closed basin. So, this doesn't have any river connectivity as such. Then this blue lagoon was created to a meteorite. So, this was created due to a meteoritic action, and it is not volcanic in nature. Then the most prominent reptiles found in Lunar Crater Lake are the monitor lizards. So, these monitor lizards are worth remembering. Then another feature of this lake is the non-symbiotic nitrogen fixing microbes. So, the nitrogen fixing bacteria are prominently found in this Lunar Crater Lake. Then the lake has been declared as the Ramsar site since November 2020. So, this was the latest one in India to be declared as the Ramsar site, that is in the 2020 last year. Then the color of the lake water recently had turned pink due to the presence of Haloarchaea, or a pink colored algae. Then it is the most famous one for being the world's largest basaltic impact crater. So, this is a basaltic impact crater, that is, it is due to meteoritic impact and the underground rock is basaltic in nature. Hence, it is a famous one for this basaltic impact crater. I hope you have understood. Then the other two India's prehistoric meteoritic craters are Dala in Madhya Pradesh and Ramgarh in Rajasthan. So, you will locate Dala and Ramgarh, and you will also see the pictures of those and enjoy them and also remember the fact. Then come to next one, the Arabian Sea, which is the hotbed of cyclones. Friends, why was it in news? Because recently extremely severe cyclonic storm Tuktai, it pummeled the India's western coast from Kerala and Tamil Nadu to Maharashtra and Gujarat. So, almost all the western coast, it was inundated by this cyclone, and that is why this Arabian Sea becomes important. Then about frequency of cyclones in Arabian Sea. Tuktai is the first major cyclone to originate in Arabian Sea in 2021. So, in this year, this was the first one. Then, as per the convention, the average number of cyclones building in North Indian Ocean has been 5 in a year, and only one of the 5 usually emerges in Arabian Sea. So, overall, in the Indian Ocean, 5 cyclones will emerge in a year, and only 1 will emerge in Arabian Sea, and 4 will emerge in Bay of Bengal. But however, in 2018, while Bay of Bengal maintained its average of 4 cyclones a year, the Arabian Sea produced 3 cyclonic storms. Friends, now the average has increased from 5 to 7. That is 5 cyclones in Bay of Bengal as usual and 3 cyclones from Arabian Sea. Instead of 1, the number has increased in the Arabian Sea to 3. So, that is why Arabian Sea is becoming the hotbed of cyclones. So, here in this figure, we can see various cyclones that emerged in Arabian Sea. That is the cyclone Meccano. Then in 2019, cyclone Vayu, 2020 cyclone Nisarga, and 2021 the cyclone Tuktai. Then come to more facts regarding the Arabian Sea. In 2019, Arabian Sea overtook Bay of Bengal with the 5 cyclones to 3. So, 5 cyclones were emerged in Arabian Sea in 2019 and only 3 cyclones emerged in Bay of Bengal in the same year. Then in 2020, the Bay of Bengal produced 3 cyclonic storms while Arabian Sea generated 2. So, 2020 was bit moderate, and then scientists have attributed the increasing frequency of cyclones in Arabian Sea due to climate change. So, climate change is the culprit for these skewed tendencies. Then, according to Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or the IPCC, the sea surface temperature of Arabian Sea is rising day by day. So, that is why the cyclones are increasing. Then, since satellite records began in India in 1980, this is the first time that pre-monsoon cyclones have been recorded in the Arabian Sea for 4 consecutive years. So, that is from 2021, 2020, 2019 and 2018. So, from the last 4 years, the Arabian Sea cyclones have been emerging consecutively in every year. Then, the Western Tropical Indian Ocean has turned out to be the largest contributor to the overall trend in the global mean sea surface temperature rise. So, Western Tropical Indian Ocean, that is the Arabian Sea, this has been the largest contributor to the rise in sea surface temperature. Then, as Indian Ocean has absorbed 90% of excess heat generated by greenhouse gas emissions since 1970, it has led to anomalous ocean warming, which in turn makes cyclones intensify rapidly. So this absorption of greenhouse gases is the main reason for the increase in sea surface temperature, and the increase in sea surface temperature is the reason for increasing cyclones. So this is what the scientists have said, and this is why the Arabian Sea is increasing with the cyclones. So friends, here is another list of Arabian Sea cyclones. You can read it whenever you are free. Then come to next one, Satpura Range. Friends, why Satpura Range was in news? Because Utkal Today, a magazine, it contained an editorial on Satpura Range, and that is why the physiography of Satpura Range becomes important. So we will study that. The geographical location. Satpura Range is a series of 7 mountains. That is, the Sat means 7, Pura means mountains. So the 7 mountain range, then it runs in the east-west direction to the south of Vindhyas and between Narmada and Tapi. So it runs to the east-west direction, and we know that here if it is Vindhya, then the Narmada flows here, then the Satpura lies here and Tapi lies here. So Vindhya, Narmada, Satpura and Tapi. So VNST, you can remember likewise. And then the range rises in the eastern Gujarat and it extends till Chhattisgarh. So from Gujarat to Chhattisgarh it extends, and then parts of Satpuras have been folded and upheaved, and they are regarded as the structural uplift or horst mountains. So these are the horst mountains and these are not the fault mountains. Then Dhupkar near Pachmarhi of Mahadev Hills is the highest peak of Satpura range. So this Dhupkar will be worth remembering, and this Pachmarhi is a place wherein the Pachmarhi Wildlife Sanctuary is located. So that is why that also becomes important. Then Amarkantak is another important peak. So Amarkantak Plateau and the Amarkantak peak will also become important here. Friends, before going to more facts, here we can see almost all the ranges like Vindhyas, then Satpuras, then Satmala Range, then Ajanta Balaghat Range, then Harishchandra Range, and then here in the south we have the Nallamalla, Venukonda, Palkonda, then Javadi Hills, Shiroi Hills. So all these things you will have to revise and you will have to be thorough, so that any ascending order, descending order, east to west orders, you will answer them thoroughly. So revise 3 to 4 times, 7 to 8 times, how much times you want, but be thorough for that. Now come to more facts regarding the Satpura range. The origins of rivers. Narmada river, it originates in Amarkantak and runs between Satpura and Vindhya ranges towards the Arabian Sea. So it originates in the Amarkantak and then it flows between Vindhya and Satpura range. We have discussed that. Then coming to Tapi, it originates in the eastern central part of Satpura and it also originates near Amarkantak and the place is called Multai. But however, somewhere in the middle, it crosses the Satpura range and then it flows in the southern slope of Satpura. So in the southern slope it flows. It doesn't flow in the middle of Vindhya and Satpura range. And then lastly, the Tapi river merges to Arabian Sea at Surat. So Surat is the place where it merges to the Arabian Sea. Then coming to geographical significance of Satpura range. Satpura range contains some manganese and coal deposits in its southeastern flanks. So in the southeastern flanks, somewhere here, you will get some of the manganese and coal deposits. Then it contains valuable teak stands in the west. So in the western parts, some of the teak trees are being located. Then in the upper Wainganga and Pench valleys of Mahadev Hills, there is some agriculture. So this Wainganga and Pench, so these are the tributaries of Godavari river, and in those plains some agriculture is present. Then in the higher hills, Gond hill tribes, they practice jhum cultivation. So a bit higher to this Wainganga and Pench valleys, the Gond tribes, they practice the shift and burn cultivation. Then in Madhya Pradesh, Pachmarhi is a resort town and Chindwara is a city. So here we can locate Chindwara at this place and Pachmarhi here. And friends, here we have some of the ranges that are flanking the Satpura range. In the north we have Vindhya range, and in the east we have Maikala range, in the south the Mahadev range, and in the southwest Ajanta range and Balaghat range, and in the further southwest we have Satmala range. So we will remember these as well, and we can also see Dhupkar, the peak of Satpura range here, and here is the peak of Vindhya range, and you will see what is the name of that peak as well. So these are some of the physiological features of Satpura range. Friends, in the map work there is nothing like a limit. As much as you learn, so much proficiency you get, and more questions you can get them right. So do not stick on to a limit. Whenever you get free time, go through the maps and do it. Now coming to the last part, friends, where we study the geographical features of India. Many times we get burdened and we feel that why should we study all these things, and why should we by heart those long lists of mountains, rivers, etc. But when it comes to our home place, but when it comes to our land, we feel proud of it. The same way you feel that you are an Indian, not belonging to that home place. And now at this point of time, you will feel proud to study every place, because now every place belongs to your own. and the people from every place will be people of your own, and the children of every place will be just like the children of your own. So have such a nationalistic mentality. At that point of time, history, geography, society, they will not be a burden, rather they will be an area of interest. So do it. All the very best. Good luck, friends.